Good Monday morning. Wow, time just flies as you progress in life. If you're older in this world, you totally get it. It's Monday, and a week from today is Labor Day. I mean, that means the summer's over. I mean, good Lord. You know, life is but a vapor. So it's early Monday morning, and you're probably thinking, Jesus Christ, this guy's posting a video every day on his YouTube channel. Yeah, I know, really. Right, and you know, I'm thinking to myself, here we go. It's the EV Conversations Day. Here's an electric vehicle over here. My gentleman that works for me works out of it every day. And I've got to plug it in. I've talked about this. So last night, my daughter brought her Mustang over. If you watch my Sunday evening, updated info, then you'd be like, yeah, I remember seeing your daughter clean her Mustang. And she left it here last night because she wanted to get all, the dew on it, nice and clean. And sure enough, what I do, I forgot to take the, last night I said, no, you got to take the car out because I get the Mustang Mach-E in. So, yeah. And so that's what's going on. It's just like, yeah, I've talked about this so many times. You forget to charge your car. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, I'm 59 years old. So when I was 16 years old, I was going to the gas station buying gas. I mean, so is that 43 years? Is that right? Is it 40 years? Yeah, 43 years of me. 43 years of me going to the gas station. So 43 years later, now my routine is I plug a car in. I mean, I can't wait to hear the stories as time progresses. How many people aren't plugging their cars in? And they get up in the morning and they can't get to work. So this is classic. This is where it's going. You're going to get the phone calls, employer, good morning, Jim's Automotive. Yeah? Uh-huh. Yeah, Bob. What's going on, Bob? What? You can't get in? Why can't you get in? What do you mean your car's dead? The battery's dead? Well, jumpstart it. What do you mean you can't jumpstart it? Oh, that's right. You bought that electric vehicle. Yeah. Well, well, okay. Uh-huh. It takes 8 hours to charge it to get here to work? I know you live like 60 miles away. What? Yeah, I know it's taking an hour to get here. Right. Oh, my gosh. You get that guy's car's got to get finished today. What are you doing? Yeah, okay, so this, you watch. That's going to be stories told. That's going to be stories told. The guy that, buys an electric car, and he's driving 160, 200 miles round trip to his job, and he's going to save all his fuel, and he forgets to plug the car in. I mean, yeah. So what's the Monday's theme today? It's going to be about electric vehicles. We're going to talk about that in a little more detail here as the morning progresses and share some information. But right now, I got to get my one car out and my other car in, and we will continue the Good Morning Monday coffee conversations of EV vehicles. Or do I even drink coffee? Gets my GERD all riled up. So now, I don't know where the key is this car. My kid probably took it in last night with her. Oh my gosh. And that even reminds me that they never gave us 2 keys to this car. Oh my gosh. Oh, how's that morning going for me, right? So now I gotta walk back to the house. Yeah, to find the freaking key because the kid took the key with her. I haven't had my coffee, haven't had a breakfast. Yeah, it's already the Mondays. This kind of like, anybody ever gotten up on a Monday morning? It's like this kind of sets a precedent of the day where things aren't flowing correctly and then get your attitude going. Yeah. And we've been so freaking doing so many damn things. Yeah, get rid of all the damn cars. You sit around and twiddle your thumbs. Hey, Julia. Yeah. Yeah. This is funny. Okay, well, the kid hid the key. All right, so the kid hid the key in the center console of the car. So I'm going to come over and steal my Mustang tonight the car being the center console, okay, you know, so once you get in the car, you know, it's you know, yeah, okay, it's not in the cup holder where I can see it visibly in my shop. Yeah, so I was saying, yeah, my daughter's been so wrapped up in doing things. You know, I've weed whacked and taken care of this property for 31 years. So my kid now, you know, for my kid, she's helping me. You know, we got 2 zero-turn mowers, and so that helps. And then I've got some weed whackers. I bought her a nice electric weed whacker. But, you know, with her new school schedule and everything else going on, it just doesn't end. Oh, yeah. There's the green machine weed whacker. Everything's all electric. And I tell you what, you know, my phone's upside down. Yeah, the phone's upside down. Yeah, so, yeah. All right, so now I'm getting in the car. Now, you know, some of the Mustangs have a memory button. No memory button, you know? Yikes. Because it just makes it easier to get in the car and do all that stuff. All right. Oh, my gosh. Yikes. All right, but you know, it's just, yeah, well, duh. See here, you don't need the key. You just push the button, but the key has to be close by. Yeah. All right. She's getting 17.3 miles per gallon. But you know what? It's so funny how every time I talk to my car sales guy down there at Kuhn Sterling Ford, hey, I need a key. Yeah. Hey, I need a key. Yeah. You know, and don't get me wrong, I'm not blaming him, but it's the same conversation. Yeah, I need a key. Yeah. Bring it by. Whatever, yeah. You know, so yeah, on the day my daughter loses this key, what's the phone call going to be? Hey, Dad, I'm stuck. What do you mean you're stuck? Yeah, I don't have any keys. All right, so let's see here. Mode, normal, track, drag. Let's see if it is off. There it is. See, there it is. That's a huge difference. That's a huge difference. Look at how this car sounds. The Ice Age. Now, let's start that one up, right? Let's see how that starts. Now, you know, you think to yourself, all right, so there is no remote start for this. And I can go to my phone app and precondition the car. But right now, you know, this car, you know, see how fogged up everything is? So it's not like the same, or is it? All right, this car's getting run to the ground. I mean, this car here, it's gonna have a lot of miles. It's already got 10,428 miles. It's got 90 miles of range. That's not bad. I checked my phone actually remotely to see what's going on with this car this morning because I woke up at 4 a.m. and I was like, oh Jesus, I forgot to freaking plug this damn car in. So, and you know, the guy who works for me, today it'd be about 120 mile, 150 mile day. I mean, that's what it's gonna probably be. So this car here, 2 hours of charging, it'll probably put another 40 miles in his car. So it's gonna be really, he's gonna be really at the edge today to drive his vehicle. I mean, right on the edge. And one thing you learn about these electric vehicles is that range is very debatable on how you're driving. So if he's driving, look at this here. So, you know, I'm trying to get in here because everything's fogged over. You know, it's hard to see. See here, look. Very hard to see what's going on. So I got the rear camera. It's the only thing that's saving me. And I'm back into my fracking GT 500, right? Got to move over. Yeah, so anyways, you know, it's interesting. You know, I think the economic times have really changed. I know people radiate, you know, the negative, the doom and gloom, you know. I told you, don't want to be a political channel, you know, but the reality is the doom and gloom has happened. I hate that. See that? I'm just now videoing, you know, this is videoing now me showing you where the hell I live. Yeah, I hate that. So, yeah, why don't you get the freaking phone up higher, you dummy? Yeah, I get all that. But, you know, here's the thing what I'm talking about is, yeah, all right, well, I'm sure somebody wants to come find me, they can, but whatever. You know, I guess if I'm not popular. blah, blah, blah. And the whole place has video and surveillance cameras. And got a nice Winchester over there for anybody who wants to find out what that is. So, you know, the whole point is, you're getting violent. You're already getting all riled up this morning, aren't you, buddy? Yeah, I sure am. Getting riled up because this freaking, you know, here it is, the EVH. Yeah, it electrifies you all right. Yeah, so here we go. All right, time to get my one plug. All right, jeez. Get this here. So let's look at the bars. Probably has two. Let's see. Two. See that? How do I know, right? Yeah, so, you know, what I was talking about the times of change is, you know, I've sold a lot of stuff on Craigslist. You know, I mean, I've sold a lot of stuff. And here, this past year, I have advertised things on Craigslist. Nothing. That just radiates back to me. People don't have cash. I think more than ever, everybody's strapped. More than ever. Nobody shares their dirty laundry. Why would you go to work this morning and tell people your bank account's cleaned out, you're barely going to make your next paycheck? You ain't going to do that. Okay, so here's the point. I've got a brand new, one-time use Jeep, soft top Jeep Wrangler cover, you know, so you can make your Wrangler hardtop in a convertible. It's like a $2,400 cover. I've had that thing advertised off and on now since like April of this year. I wanted like $1,200, $1,400 for it. Nothing. $1,000, nothing. $900, nothing. $800, nothing. I'm down now to $600. And I'm not lying to you. This thing's like brand new. The windows on it are perfectly clear. I mean, okay, what the hell's going on? All right, I've got tires for sale off my dually on Craigslist. Nothing. Goose egg. And you already know right now, tires are very expensive, especially for that truck over there. 50 truck. And you want to put tires on that? What do you think that's going to cost you each? Think it's a $200 tire? Yeah, right. Commercial grade tire? There's no way. Okay. I'm trying to think what else. I've had some other things on Craigslist and nobody's. What's going on? I mean, what is going on? All right. And you saw my video of the weekend. And I was out and about yesterday. And, you know, it's just not the same. It's not the same. So, all right. Let me get breakfast and then look at my hat. My Ford F-150 Lightning hat. You know, I'm wearing that today. It's the electrical vehicle conversations again. All right. Got my breakfast, got my coffee. The spirits are better. Getting things going. The haze or the fog or the dew is lifting. Attitudes are prevailing. That's pretty crazy. What's going on more than ever in our country, in the world. I mean, it's just insane on how the information is so much misinformation. I mean, I talk about this numerous times. Look at that Raptor. I mean, you know, I love my Raptors. It's just crazy. I'm telling you, if you told me a month ago you're going to have a Raptor, or you told me back in the first part of the summer, I was not fixated on buying a Raptor. Especially after buying an F-150 Lightning truck, you know, for me, that was a cool truck. And there's no doubt, had I not been offered $20,000 to give it back to him, I wouldn't have done it. I'd still have it. And I wouldn't have the Raptor truck and all that other stuff, or would I? Well, you know, it's kind of interesting I say that, because that's not factual. Because I did the deal on that Raptor truck without even having the Lightning truck involved. So that's kind of misinformation, if you know what I mean. Oh, I'm going to get my office here. Got my coffee, got the dogs. See, it's the dogs. It's always about the dogs. If you're a dog person, you kind of get all that, you know. And, yeah, dogs. I mean, these two dogs here are the oldest. The big dogs, the poodles, and the little ones. I mean, it's just hard to believe. Those little ones, I guess they're coming up from 5 years old. Those guys, I got in 2013. Which that was, you know, it's interesting. Every time I get a dog, my wife is like, no, don't do that. Yeah, I'm the guy that listens to the no, right? All right, come on, get up there. But, you know, these stairs are radical. I'm the guy who wants one level living. Because as you get older, you find out you fall down the stairs. And yeah, have I just fallen down the stairs a few times? I have. All right, so into the office. There's my hotel room air conditioning heating system I put in years ago, and I've been using it. And look at this here. Here's my green pool. First summer in 10 years, I haven't used my pool because it's down in Florida so long. And it's so much work to keep that thing clean. And all the chemicals in it are so expensive. And you know what? And what's crazy is being in Florida for close to 6 weeks, that, around here, it's just so, it's not like Florida where it's just so hot and humid. It's cool. So getting in that pool at that time, it's borderline. There's not many more days left if it's just so hot you can enjoy that pool. It's not heated, so it really reflects the ambient temperature. So, and I used to do a lot of swim in that pool. I used to do laps. I used to just swim in that pool for hours, which is good because as you progress, you need to be moving. For anybody in this world, you don't want to be sitting around, even though today more than ever, people, I talk about this, are remotely working from home, and they can only hope that, which I think a lot do. I mean, we know a lot of people went out and bought exercise equipment and bicycles, but you can only hope that for those of us that remotely work at home, that, you have an exercise program, because, it's just the little things you don't think much about. But, if you have to go to work and get up in the morning and go out to your car, or maybe you park your car at the metro, and you have to walk from the metro to the metro bus or the train, or if you work somewhere and you're way out in the parking lot, it's just those little steps you're taking. Then you're at the office and you may have to go down the hall to see somebody, or up the stairs, or you go to lunch. But there's just so much more activity. Even for my wife, I witnessed how my wife was just home all day, and I was very concerned about that. It just isn't good. And thank God she really started using the treadmill here over the last year, and because she just knew, it was like, wow, I'm home, and she just isn't moving. So for me, my goal is just to keep moving. So, all right. So, boy, I got an agenda this morning in business, but I figured, you know what? Let's talk about the electric conversations. And, it doesn't take much for you to get on the internet and do some research. And I get a lot of information out of the Wall Street Journal, which I think is pretty, it's not too radical. I mean, it's hard to go to information on the internet, and the journalist doesn't have an agenda for that article. It's very challenging to read through, what's the facts and aren't the facts. And the Wall Street Journal is such a business-minded paper. It's more to me about information that's just telling you what's going on. And this was an eye-opener to me. I mean, I didn't realize how many mega battery factories are being built stateside, meaning here in this country right now. You have GM. GM is opening up in Oklahoma, Michigan, I don't know, Kansas, something like that. 3 mega battery manufacturing plants. Then you have Tesla, as we know, in Las Vegas, Nevada. They've buddied up with Panasonic. They have a major, battery plant that's been built. And they have another one they're planning to build. And that's Panasonic, really. And then you have Honda and LG, who have buddied up. And apparently they're building a mega battery factory in Ohio. And then you have, I believe, Toyota and LG, or Toyota and Samsung, that's building something, I think, in Tennessee. And so what I was reading is you have basically like Samsung Electronics, LG, SK, and then China has a word like Centrex, and it's a CAPT, I think, is the abbreviations for the name. Without getting up in front of me, I can't remember the exact wording. And I could even pronounce a CAPT or CATP, but it's a China. China, is big time in the market. The reality is right now that 70% of the lithium batteries in the world come from China. They're the stronghold of the manufacturing of batteries. And the goal is the GM, the Toyota, the Stellantis, Ford. They want to have their own battery relationships and battery factories, and so that's why they're buddying up with the South Koreans, with Hyundai, with the LG product and the Samsung product and SK. I'm not sure where SK's out of, and so it was a real eye opener to me reading about how in this country, I would say conservative, there's 10 to 12 major battery factories in process of being built in this country. And which, if you think that through, that just shows you more than ever on how the electric revolution is happening. I mean, the car makers have already crossed the bridge. The investors have already crossed the bridge. They're already heck bent on they're not going to be selling more gas engine cars. That's where it's all going. Anybody wants to continue to argue about the ice age, you go to 2035. 2035 is California's cutoff date of selling gasoline cars. But there's a fine line there. That's what they're saying about that. What's being said is California says no new gas engine vehicles, not a used one, a new one. So 2035 in California is for all new car dealerships. But in all sincereness, what's a new car dealership anymore? The whole business model has changed. All the car dealerships now are used car dealerships, and they've always have been used car dealerships. But more than ever, their majority of their product line is used cars. So it would be misled for anybody to think that in 2035, cars aren't being sold, gas cars aren't being sold. That's totally false. Used gasoline engine vehicles and diesels and trucks, SUVs, those will still be allowed to be sold in the likes of California. And where that comes from is in 1970, they had a Clean Air Act that was passed that California created the 1970 Clean Air Act bill that basically created the guidelines for the EPA standards, which kind of forced the automotive industry to bend to their rules because California is such a massive state and so many car sales, the manufacturers had to bend to that EPA guidelines. And everybody knows that California had a different vehicle on emissions versus a non-California vehicle. And a lot of people didn't like that because the California vehicle was smogged down, which made it less, powerful. So a lot of people want a California-built car. They want to buy a car outside of California. That went on for years to get it back into California, but that's very, very challenging now to accomplish that. It has to be a used car. There's a lot more to that. So the whole point is that the automotive industry has catered to California because of that Clean Air Act. Well, the previous administration canceled that. So that, and believe it or not, which is kind of hard to believe because GM kind of seems to be more electric pro versus not. So apparently GM and Toyota sided with the former administration on this Clean Air Act that was putting guidelines in, like the 2035 mandates of no more sales of gasoline engines in California. That was rolled back where that couldn't be enforced. But then, ironically, Ford and other manufacturers were still on the page. Now we're going to continue going down the path of that plan. Well, at the end, you think about it, who was right, who was wrong. So, but this administration now has reversed it back. So the 1970 Clean Air Act is back, and the guidelines for the manufacturers have to be prepared between now and 2035. It's 2022. You may say, that's only 13 years away. Well, the way manufacturing works, you have manufacturers with R&D that can be 5 years away. I mean, it could be 10 years away. So if you're a manufacturer, you already have to start looking to the future to get things in order so that your vehicle that's built in 2027 or 2028, you may have spent 2-3 years of just the research and design and everything else. So sounds like a long time to us, but when you're in the automotive industry, that's not a long time. So that was, once again, this Wall Street Journal has all this information. Everybody wants to go to it and read it and more, defined information. But also what's interesting about this is in 2020, they claim 4% of the population in this country had an interest in electric vehicle. Remember, 2020 we had the cheap gas because the pandemic stuff was all going on, and they couldn't give away oil. I've talked about that, in other videos. Got to get some more coffee, and that coffee gets my GERD going usually. But this morning that coffee's really good. I don't know what my wife. See my Toyota Supra picture back there? Yeah, my Toyota Supra, my GT500, and my Mopar stuff, and all that good stuff. Yeah, see, there's my Mopar, the Harleys, the Indian, my motorcycle, my kid. So there's my horns. See my Supra that I used to own. You can see it, the bicycle, the Dodge product, the Charger, Corvettes, the Rams, the Chevys, So anyways, the interest in EV vehicles, in 2020 was very small. Well, now because the gas prices being through the roof, energy prices, people more than ever want to buy an electric vehicle. So it went from 4% to like 36% interest. And, once again, we know why. I mean, the media more than ever is pushing the electric vehicle. The knowledge, or I should say more the awareness. I don't know so much the knowledge. It's just misinformation. If you're watching my YouTube channel, these electric vehicles, it's not a free ride. It's not, you're not like leaps and bounds ahead by having an electric vehicle, claiming you don't buy gas anymore and there's nothing, expensive anymore. It's not factual. And then, like I told you the other day, California is getting ready to pass the bill that you're going to be paying by the mile. And I don't know all that detail, but I've heard that. Does it happen tomorrow? I don't think so. Future, it will. You'd be paying by the mile like the truckers do. People don't realize truckers pay by the mile to drive their trucks over the road because they do so much, harm to the road, the infrastructure of the road. Big, heavy trucks, you drive down the right-hand lane and Route 81 or Route 95, and that right-hand lane is just the worst because the trucks sink the pavement or the concrete and make all the imperfections. Who rides the right-hand lane on major highways? You see all the imperfections. That's like the most dominant part of the road that trucks ride in. So if you look at the electric vehicle, there's a whole other thing that's going on. When I bought my electric vehicles, technically I get a $7,500 credit, but it's kind of state by state guidelines. And now there's been new regulations and new laws that are in the works being passed. You have to meet criteria. So basically, what I'm reading, and people can read this stuff and say, "Hey, you weren't right about that statement." Okay, great. I'd love to hear what's right because I'll take that. Just like the Rivian guy, my review of the Rivian. His answer is awesome vehicle, no worries, fabulous vehicle, awesome. That's great to hear. Let's hear those stories. Okay, if the guy responded, "I've had my Rivian, it's been nothing but headaches." Ooh, that'd be like, yeah, wow, that's a bummer. I'm really kind of surprised, but at the same time, it's so new in the market. It's like any product. It's going to have its glitches. That's just the way, things are. We learn from trial and error. So, anyways, the regulations for you to qualify to get tax credits on your EV, if it isn't expensive enough, you may not qualify for that $7,500 rebate. You may be a $1,200 tax rebate. And even the manufacturers are getting taken away tax incentives for selling, say, 200,000 EV vehicles a year, which that, offsets the price on the vehicle, which if you're watching my YouTube channel, the Mach-E's, Ford just announced that those are going up to like $8,500. The Ford Lightning, I think, is being increased by $6,000 or $10,000. I can't even remember the exact number. Well, you have to say to yourself, wait a second. Maybe the government's eliminating their tax rebates, incentives to their manufacturing side, where they got big tax breaks for selling 200,000 cars a year, and now that's gone. That's going to be taken away. So the manufacturer just instantly going, okay, well, we got to add back in what we're losing. So the point on the tax incentives, those are all changing. So be careful on thinking you will buy an electric vehicle and you're going to get this big reward for a tax rebate, because for some people, that offsets the more expensive vehicle. Now here's the next thing. They're saying that the average electric vehicle is like $66,000. That's like the average. And the average car is like, I think, $42,000.
And those numbers will be off a little bit, but basically what it's saying is when you buy an electric vehicle, it's like $22,000 more than your conventional gas vehicle. So if you think about that, if you go buy a electric vehicle and you spend 22 grand more, and you've put a factor of, let's just say, $17 per thousand borrowed, that'd be a very low interest rate, like in a conventional 60-month loan. So 17 times 22, that's $374 more a month that you're spending to own that electric vehicle. Well, if you're an individual, let's just say that drives 15,000 miles a year, and you have a 20 mile per gallon vehicle, and you're paying, let's just say, $4 a gallon for gas, okay, then you're paying $2.50 a month in fuel. Okay, so I just ran the numbers on my calculator. So you're actually paying more for your electric vehicle. You're not even factoring in you have to recharge your electric vehicle. It takes energy to charge your car. So you could be spending close to $500 more. You can be spending $5 a month to run your electric vehicle. Your gas car is $2.50. So your gas car is ahead. You're actually saving money by driving the gas car. But the media doesn't present it that way. The media wants to convince you that electric car is more efficient, more affordable, but it's not. And don't get me wrong, not all the media, but at the same time, it's the misinformation. So this morning I really was intrigued to kind of follow up on my electric vehicle conversation because a lot of people I think that I've abandoned electric vehicles. I mean, not really, but I think some people are like, oh, yeah, you're not, well, here's the thing. I love technology. I love change. You notice that. And I've learned so much by buying these vehicles. And at the same time, I've been rewarded by buying one of the vehicles and selling one of the vehicles. And there's no doubt in my mind, as time progresses, the technology is going to even get better and more efficient, and it'll get more affordable. There's no doubt EV vehicles will become more affordable, and that's what this whole battery infrastructure in this country is all about. The big auto guys want to get more control of the costs of these lithium batteries. But here's another thing that is factual. Here's the challenge. Like in Serbia, there's tons of lithium mines. And Serbia has had major protests by the citizens out over there from the total raw material destruction of Mother Nature to get lithium. And in this country, supposedly, we have a lot of access to a lot of lithium. The challenge is going to be, are you going to be able to get the permits and will the surrounding communities allow this? That's a whole other conversation. That where's the lithium coming from? Because if you're the manufacturer and you go to pull permits to start mining, will you be able to get through all that, anti-ruin Mother Nature to get to that point? So that's going to be interesting. And the reason I bring that up is if they can get the lithium being in more mass produced and more availability, it's going to drive down the pricing for lithium, which drives down the prices for batteries, which then in turn drives down the prices for vehicles. So, over the next few years, it's going to be very interesting in our country to really see if we kind of take away China's stronghold. And I've preached this years ago that it's just a wealth exchange. I've said many years ago, that the evolution of the change of transportation is all about stripping the fossil fuel, dominant big oil companies, their powers away from them, and goes to the battery, controlled, companies, which is China. I mean, China, 70% of all the batteries made in this world, lithium, for the battery packs, these electric vehicles, comes from China. So odds are my Ford Mustang Mach-E, the Lightning, all that truck, all those components are from China. And the irony of all it is, so many people in this country don't want to support China. There's definitely an anti-China movement in this country, being that, we just feel like they've done so many bad things. I mean, that's a whole other discussion and get political, and don't get me wrong. China's done other things too. I mean, everything has, cause and effect. So, all right, here I am, Monday morning conversations. We'll make it the Monday morning edition, EV conversations. Yeah, what happened to my other build, my other truck, my other F-150 Lightning truck that's coming in, but it hasn't even been built. So the order's been accepted, but it hasn't even been put in production. So this is now, to me, probably going to October, maybe November. And what would really be interesting is the gentleman who works for me, he so bad wants a truck. and he thinks that he really wants an electric vehicle truck, and I'm all for that's awesome, but I don't think that truck is what people think it is. It's a lot of truck. And does it drive like a truck? It does. But it drives kind of like the older trucks where it's more that float down the road type of feel. Is it a great truck? Yes, it is. In all sincerity, I told you earlier, if I was offered $20K more for that truck, I would not have parted with it. I would have kept it. And, do I miss it? Yeah, I do. I mean, I do miss the truck. Beautiful truck. Can it be replaced? It can as time progresses. And, but at the same time, my Raptor truck right now is a lot of fun. And, I mean, that truck is just so much fun. And if I can keep that thing about 18 miles a gallon, not too bad, but, it's more money out of my pocket to drive that for the moment. But if you know me, what lasts forever? The danger is, do I take that and trade it back for a Lightning truck? I mean, I don't think that. I would use something else. I'd rather keep the Raptor truck. And do I let the Platinum Diesel go for the F-150 Lightning? The downside is I've got a big ass car hauler trailer. If I cross a bridge that I don't need a 12K towing truck, then that's kind of where that F-250 Platinum truck is my backup plan. Because if I want to go to Florida or Tennessee and haul my motorcycles, my car, that's another conversation. I'm going to go to Tennessee this weekend. What am I taking down? What's going on down there? What's going on? Yeah. What's the next YouTube? Hey, looky here. Yeah, you think I'm kidding? Yeah, stay tuned for that. All right, so I'm just going to kind of wrap it up here. I think I'm going to take my Raptor today and go get the windows tinted. So maybe I'll make a little video on that as well. So hope everybody has a great, blessed Monday, and follow me along as more conversations continue on the Ice Age, EV Age, TV days. This eventually evolved to the EV Age TV, which it's not, because I'm always going to have my Ice Age vehicles. And so many people, for some reason, think that I'm like totally getting rid of all my ICE cars and getting all EV cars. I don't understand that. I've got a Gold Rush Challenger coming in tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, what about that, huh? Right. We will continue conversations.